This is a cabbage called January King, and we're going to make...
King of the Coleslaw.
Whoa. Hello, welcome to Get Gardening. I'm Alan Gray.
And I'm Vanessa Scott.
And today we're going to be making...
We're going to be making a fantastic coleslaw with a January King and some other vegetables.
So you thought coleslaw was going to be a hard white cabbage. It doesn't have to be. Here's how.
So Alan, what I'm going to do is pickle the vegetables. You don't have to do this with coleslaw, but you know, if you want to kind of experiment, it's good to actually try different things.
Are you going to soften those vegetables a little bit?
We are.
Right.
So in here, I've I've dissolved some...
It's a kind of melting.
Yeah, I've dissolved some salt in some water, and then I'm going to put half vinegar to the water, just to create a poaching liquor. Okay.
Oh yes.
So
yes.
Vinegar, salt.
Yep.
The salt has all dissolved, and then we're going to chop some vegetables. I wonder if I could get you to pull all the outer leaves off the January King.
Right.
And these outer leaves are great for things like soup, stock.
So they're not wasted?
They're not wasted, no, not at all. And they're even nice wrapped up with some sausage meat in them. So you steam the leaf.
Just to soften it slightly?
Yeah, just to soften it. And then you create a little parcel with some sausage meat, maybe with some onion and garlic mixed in with the sausage meat.
What about that bit?
I would get rid of the bottom bit of that. So you just cut it out.
Take a triangle out like that?
Yeah.
So you take the hard base of the leaf stalk out?
Yeah.
And then you're left with a...
Yeah, so you literally steam the cabbage leaf to soften it, and then you'd wrap your parcels up, pop it in the oven, drizzle it.
A bit like stuffed vine leaves.
Yeah.
Only we're using
absolutely.
Cabbage.
Now I can hear that the
water's coming up.
The water's coming up to the boil on the stove, so I'm going to leave you to slice some cabbage.
Okay.
And as soon as we've got all these vegetables chopped and popped in that bowl, we're then going to put that pickling liquor over the top, because it will have cooled down by then. And we're keeping them fairly crunchy because because
you want some texture.
We want texture, yeah.
How small do you want me to cut the cabbage, and any tips on cutting it?
I think we probably only want a quarter of that. So always cut with a flat surface if you can. You know, rather than down there. I'm just got to take a bit of that out, but we could grate that into the mixture.
As I said, don't waste it because I'll eat it.
No, it's full of goodness.
And sweet.
Yeah.
Deliciously sweet. I'll do it.
Yeah? Right.
Lovely contrast of colours there again. We've got the richness of the red onion, the carotene of the golden carrot, and the gorgeous green of the January King.
So we've got our vegetables there. So if you want to pop just literally all over the top.
Drizzle this pickling mixture, which is
vinegar, salt,
and dissolved in warm water, and then half as much vinegar added again. And that is our pickling liquid.
That's our pickling liquid, and I'm just going to put the final carrot in, and we need to leave that for about 10 minutes. And what it does is it softens the vegetables, and it does draw out excess water, because you know when you make a coleslaw and you add the mayonnaise, and when you go back to it an hour later,
it's swimming.
Yeah, because the salt through osmosis pulls the water out, and this way you've already achieved that. And it's just different. I mean, we do make coleslaw without doing this process, but I think it's nice to try different things, and I like this.
This is quite a popular thing today, isn't it? Isn't it? Pickling vegetables for a relatively short time.
Yes.
Because it does slightly change the flavour.
You see them on restaurant menus.
Yeah.
Now, you can do this where the red onion sits separately. Some people would be a bit miffy about the fact I've put red onion in there because it obviously bleeds colour. But sometimes things take too long.
Yeah.
And
you know what I always say?
Yes, life's too short to stuff a mushroom. So the next thing we're going to get ready for our coleslaw is some sweet corn that I've actually griddled. And I just griddled them with a bit of chili oil on them actually. So I've got 2 of those. And obviously again, this is to taste.
That's lovely. That lovely little taste that you get from the fact that you've griddled them. Because you've got that slight caramelisation on the outside. Not too much, just a little bit, a hint of colour there. That comes through. There's a lovely sort of, a bit of a bitter taste on the very, very sweet.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's such a cheap food, I think, sweet corn. And it just goes with so many things.
Well, it's a very good, we were talking about frozen vegetables some time ago, and it's a very good vegetable for freezing for yourself, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You can buy sweet corn on the side of the road sometimes, or at farmers market, at the end of the summer or in the autumn at very, very reasonable prices.
Yeah, and it's absolutely full of roughage. Just having a look at my broccoli.
It's just, the water's just starting to move.
Yeah.
It's just coming up to the bubble.
I'm actually going to take that out now. And to dry it off and just finish it off, I'm actually going to put this on an oiled baking sheet in the oven. Just put that in there. Now I've just roughly chopped some parsley there. We're going to pop that in there.
Is that the parsley?
Yes.
I'll just show people the parsley because I think it's quite interesting to look at a leaf of parsley.
There you go.
That's a nice one, that's a nice one. But they're all good together. This is flat leaf parsley. Now, if you talk to the world's best chefs, cooks, kitchen people, everyone will tell you that they think the flavour in flat leaf parsley is much better than it is in the very curly leaf parsley. But the curly leaf parsley, to my mind, has another use, and I love it as an edging in the garden because it just looks so pretty. Edge your garden with that and a purple verbena, and perhaps if you really like orange, and I know Thunder Fairy does, use a marigold called Naughty Marietta. She's lovely, a little French marigold. The French, they know a thing or two about being naughty.
So you could put apple in here if you wanted, but you do have a problem with things like apples and pears discolouring. I just love these. I mean, they just give it a colour.
If you want to use apple and pears, just put a little bit of lemon juice over them.
Yeah.
And that will stop the discoloration. It's the acid in the lemon juice that does that. If you want to buy pomegranate seeds, as I've got here, buy them fresh and use them fresh. But if you buy the fruit, you can keep the fruit for some time. If you want to know how to get the seeds out of a fruit, cut it in half, turn it upside down and hit it with the back of a spoon. And they drop out like confetti. Just pop those in.
Yeah.
Now you'll see it's starting to look here a bit like a jewel box. All those wonderful colours. I almost want to eat it straight away.
Steady.
Yeah, steady.
So I'm going to get you to squeeze a lemon or half a lemon in there.
Okay.
And I'm going to pop some mayonnaise in. Now I've bought this mayonnaise, but mayonnaise is incredibly easy to make with egg yolks and rapeseed oil, bit of chili. Oh, sorry, I'm throwing it at Thordies.
That's all right. She's hungry. Doesn't matter. If you haven't got a strong old hand like this horny old hand I've got, and I can see it, you can use one of those little lemon squeezer things. But I've got quite strong hands, so I can squeeze the juice out of this lemon, and it goes in there. There are a few pips in there, but I wouldn't mind about that. Wouldn't worry about that. If you've got a lemon and it's very, very fresh, you might want to just pop it in the microwave for about 10 seconds just to warm through, and then when you cut it you'll find that you get almost twice as much juice out of it. It's just another little tip.
With limes, because limes tend to be a lot harder, don't they, to
Yeah, they do. Yep.
And I know that you know that full well, because at the end of the evening you obviously do a lot of cooking.
Now everything in my bowl here, which is the parsley, the sweet corn, and the pomegranate seeds, is now being deliciously coated with the mayonnaise. think that's it. Just knock the sides down a little.
Now I've strained the veg.
Yep.
But I'm now going to do what you mentioned earlier, and that was to actually get the rest of the moisture out of these with a tea towel.
This is a very good idea. If you don't have a salad spinner, take a clean tea towel and heap your ingredients, your greens or your lettuces or whatever it is you want to dry out, heap it, make sure you join the tea towel up into a loose bundle so there's a bit of movement in it, and then whiz it around over the top of your head. But do be careful not to let go, because then disaster strikes.
And it's important to get as much of the residual watery, lemon, acidy liquid off this mix. So I'm going to just give
You're going to gently squeeze it?
I am. I don't like the idea of throwing it around. I don't want the thought of you leaving my kitchen covered in vinegar water. So, carefully does it.
I'm going to just take a little bit of carrot if I can. There's a gorgeous mildness to this. If you don't like vinegar, you'll love this because the vinegar's not strong. Don't forget it's only half as much vinegar as there is water, and the vinegar's been watered down as well. It's absolutely lovely, and it does soften it a little bit.
And you've also got your salt in there, Alan. So I don't know, when you've finished mixing it, we'll have a taste, but we probably won't need to add any salt, which is good. Now the other thing which works really, really nicely in here, but I have none in my garden at the moment, is mint.
Yep. It's a bit early for mint, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're lucky and you've got a greenhouse, and which I have, I've got pots of mint in the greenhouse, and I actually cut the mint down at the end of last year, and I split the pots with an old bread knife. I cut the roots into four and put them in individual pots and just keep them over the winter so they're frost free, and they've got shoots on about 6 inches long now, and they're absolutely lovely, and they're good for salads, for dressings, for serving with new potato, and of course making mint sauce for lamb.
Or even if you just fancy a couple of sprigs in a mug of hot water.
See, that's the thing, I never think to do that.
And it's such a lovely drink, really refreshing.
Who's the queen of teas and tisanes? Not Poirot, it's Vanessa. Well, I think that's about ready now, don't you?
Yeah.
Is that enough? Is that mixed enough for you?
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. Now just consider, let's consider for a moment, just look at the colours in there, aren't they delicious? I mean, you said a little while ago, you eat with your eyes. Well, you know, that to me says, eat me.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Which is what you want.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Swing a tea towel.
I am. I won't swing it in your direction. I don't know what I've done with the tea towel.